When Claire walked out that night, she didn't slam the door. She didn't cry, didn't even look back. She just stood there, suitcase in hand, and said, "I can't do this anymore, Michael. I found someone who makes me feel alive again." Alive. That word stuck to me like the smell of her perfume on the hallway rug. Our twins were upstairs, asleep, unaware that their mother was leaving to chase a new version of herself. At first, I thought it was temporary. A phase. Maybe she'd come back once reality hit. The bills, the diapers, the quiet mornings without laughter. But weeks passed, then months. She stopped calling. Her lawyer didn't. The divorce papers came through smoother than I expected. I didn't fight for much, just full custody of the kids. She didn't contest it. She wanted freedom, not family. People told me I should hate her. Truth is, I didn't have the energy for hate. Between daycare drop-offs, late-night bottle feeds, and balancing work, I barely had time to think about myself. The house stayed quiet. Too quiet. Claire posted pictures with her new man, Thomas. A man who looked like he owned too many leather jackets and said things like "follow your heart." I scrolled past them, numb. The kids would sometimes ask, "When's mommy coming?" And I'd say, "She's busy right now, sweetheart." It wasn't a lie. Just not the kind they needed to hear. About a year later, I'd started rebuilding. Work was stable, I had a small circle of friends who checked in, and most days, I could smile without forcing it. Then Claire called. Her voice was soft, almost nostalgic. "Hey, Michael. How are you?" It was the kind of tone people use when they remember they left something behind, not a person, but an item of convenience. "I'm fine," I said. "Kids are good. What's going on?" She sighed. "I know it's been a while, and I've made mistakes. Thomas and I, well, we're trying to build something solid, you know? But things are tight right now." "Tight?" I asked, already sensing where this was going. "Yeah," she continued. "Thomas lost his job a few months ago, and we've got a baby on the way. The rent's gone up, and, well, I was wondering if you could help us out a bit. You've always been good with money." I thought she was joking. I waited for the punchline that never came. "You're asking me," I said slowly, "to send you money so you and the man you left me for can live comfortably." She hesitated. "It's not like that, Michael. I'm not asking for me. It's for the baby. You know how hard it is raising a family." Something inside me snapped. Quietly. Not in rage, but in realization. For years, I'd carried the guilt of not being enough. Not exciting, not spontaneous, not romantic. And now, the woman who traded her vows for adrenaline wanted my help to sustain her new fantasy. I could almost hear the echo of her last words the night she left, "I can't do this anymore." She was right. But now, neither could I. I didn't shout. I didn't curse. I just said, "Claire, you made your choice. You left your family to start a new one. I'm not going to fund your freedom. I've already paid for it once." She went silent. I could hear her breathing, shallow, uncertain, as if she'd just realized how far she'd fallen from grace. Before she could respond, I ended the call. And for the first time in years, I didn't feel abandoned. I felt free. The next few days were oddly peaceful. I expected guilt to settle in. That familiar ache that once made me second-guess every decision. But instead there was silence, and in that silence, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Balance. For the first time, the house didn't feel empty. It felt full of life, of laughter, of the little moments that had been buried under resentment. The twins were louder now. Their laughter echoing down the hallway like a promise that maybe we'd all be okay. A week later an email came. Subject line: "Please read." 'Twas from Claire. She'd written a few paragraphs about regret. How Thomas wasn't who she thought he was. How the thrill had faded once real life returned. She said she missed the way I used to make pancakes on Sundays. The way the kids used to run to her after work. Then came the real reason. "We're being evicted. I don't have anywhere to go. Can we talk?" For a long time I just stared at the screen. My heart tugged one way, my mind another. Part of me remembered the woman I once loved. The other part remembered the night she walked away. I didn't reply immediately. Instead, I took the twins to the park that weekend. They fed ducks, chased bubbles, and for a moment I thought, maybe this is enough. Maybe healing isn't about fixing what's broken but learning to live without it. That night, Claire showed up. I heard the knock and somehow knew it was her. When I opened the door, she looked smaller. Not just thinner but diminished. Her confidence, the kind that once filled every room, was gone. "Michael," she whispered. I didn't know where else to go. Behind her stood a duffel bag and a toddler clutching a stuffed rabbit, the baby she'd left us for. I let her in. Not because I wanted to, but because my kids deserved to see what consequences look like. The twins were in their room, so she sat on the couch, eyes darting around like she was revisiting a museum of her past. "I made a mistake," she said. "Thomas left. He said he couldn't handle the stress. I can't find work, and I don't have family nearby. I thought maybe I'd rescue you again." I finished for her. Tears welled up, but I'd seen enough of those to know they weren't always about remorse. Sometimes they were just another kind of manipulation. "Claire," I said softly, "when you walked away, you didn't just leave me. You left them. They cried for you for months. They asked where you were every night. I told them you loved them. I protected your image because I didn't want them to hate you. But you don't get to come back because life got hard." She covered her face. I know I don't deserve anything, but please. Just a few weeks until I figure something out." I looked at the baby. He couldn't have been more than a year old. Innocent. Unaware of the chaos surrounding him. I went upstairs, grabbed a few extra blankets, and set them near the door. "You can stay the night," I said. "But tomorrow, I'll help you find a shelter. You need to start over, Claire, really start over. Not with someone's money, but with your own choices." She nodded through her tears. It wasn't the answer she wanted, but it was the one she needed. The next morning I watched her leave again, but this time there was no bitterness. Only closure. The twins waved from the window as her cab disappeared down the street. My son asked, "Is Mommy coming back this time?" I smiled sadly. "She's got her own story to finish, buddy. We've got ours." That night, after they fell asleep, I sat on the porch and thought about how love can turn into something else entirely. Not hate, not anger, just distance. And maybe that's okay. Sometimes the best thing you can give someone who broke you is not another chance, but the freedom to face what they created. For years, I thought the worst day of my life was the day she left. Turns out, it was the day I stopped believing I could live without her. Now I finally do. And for once, no wasn't cruelty. It was peace.